So today in this video we're going to go over the process of installing these two rock crawler lights that I put on the Trail 125. So this idea was one I had when kind of cruising around at night through some trails last year up in upstate New York where we ride, and you'll see a lot of content from that trip on my channel too, probably before this. So if you go back in the previous videos, you'll see a lot of content. Some river crossings, some adventure rides, all sorts of good stuff. But in preparation for that trip, I installed a couple of accessories. One being this center rack, another the Katako grab handle. I've had the cup holder on here forever. But the one thing that I felt I really wanted to do was have a brighter light for riding at night, because there's a lot of trails up there. The roads are super dark. No street lights, so basically I wanted to light up the area a little bit more. So with my race car business, 5X Racing, I have some connections to other products, not necessarily car racing products, but just all sorts of stuff. And one of the things that I came across were rock crawling lights. These are LED lights that are basically 12 volts. You can hook them up to a switch source, and they pretty much are for off-roading, where you put them on a chassis and they kind of light up the area where you're crawling, so you can look at the rocks and kind of navigate your way through a dark trail. So I thought those would be pretty good on the actual trail itself. So I kind of had to think about how I wanted to install these. Originally I wanted to hook them up to where they illuminated when I turned on the high beams. So I poked around and did some testing and wasn't quite able to get that to work. So we ordered a separate switch. It's a waterproof toggle switch, basically, handlebar mount, and it worked perfect. And it actually ended up being better because after I've used them and been out there in the field and tested them, I like the ability to have it on a separate circuit. So that worked out. But anyways, the process of installing them was not hard. It was not difficult. The most difficult part was figuring out how I wanted to mount them and then where I wanted to tie into the electrical circuit. So I settled on mounting them right here where the reflectors were, and I'll show you this process throughout the video. But I like this location here because I was able to pivot them down, forward, and out a little bit, so they light up a little bit of the front of the road and a lot of the side of the road or trail. And it worked out really good. Plus they turn with the handlebars too, so it's not like they're stationary on the this engine guard down here or anything. So it worked out really well. After riding with these and testing them for a week or so in the mountains of upstate New York, they work excellent. They work so good that when I turned them off, it looked like I barely even had a headlight. And the stock headlights on these are pretty decent. They're LED. They light up the road well enough. But after having these on with this, it felt like I had turned off all the headlights. They were that bright. So I think they work excellent. And it's a nice little add-on if you're riding at night or going through some trails and you just want to light them up more. So here's the process to install them. If you like these lights, I will be able to get these and offer them through my business, 5X Racing. So if you are interested in getting a setup like this, I'm going to put the links in the description of the video below to the products, and you can purchase them and do this on your own and mount them wherever you want. So hopefully this inspires you to find a place to hook up some more lights on your bike, and let me know if you're interested in purchasing these lights in specific, and we'll get you set up. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the process. So ideally, I want to mount the rock crawling lights onto the original side reflector mounts. These are pretty sturdy, and I don't really care about this reflector. I know it's a safety thing, but I don't ride on the road a lot, so I'm not too concerned about it. So what I'm going to do is take this off, and then we're going to try to mount the lights to this, and we're going to see how that works out, and that'll give us a really nice spot for them, in my opinion. So this is where I'd want to mount them anyways. So the Yak rock crawling lights come with several different types of mounts, so hopefully this provides a nice sturdy base for one of those mounts. So let's go check out the mounts and see what we can't put on here. Okay, so here's one of the mount kits. They come with these bar mounts basically. So if you can see the picture here, there's a roll bar mount. So you use tie wraps. That's about the quickest way you're going to do it. So we're going to try these other mounts. So I want a more solid mount, and I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to keep these lights. So we're just going to go ahead and try to just use a basic mount there and see if that works. So yeah, I don't really see any difficulty to using this. So there's also a like a GoPro adjustable mount, GoPro style adjustable mount, and this looks pretty cool too. The only problem I see is that this has two mounting holes, so wouldn't be as easy to mount to the single hole on that reflector bracket. So let's go ahead and stick with the basic little L brackets here. And it also comes with hardware for each one of these lights, so that makes it pretty easy too. So these lights are pretty slick. They have a nice little mounting setup on them. So you basically have your Allen bolt here and the nut. So the nut goes right in this nice little slot there, and it holds itself in, and you can directly mount them to this bracket if you'd like. I'll show you how we can do that. So this is probably the simplest way to mount these lights up, is right here. But they kind of stick out a little far, and I want to maybe have them tucked in a little bit. So also you can, looks like you can articulate this a little bit if you want. So pretty neat little setup, but what we're going to do is put the L bracket in, and I think I want to maybe try to tuck them in a little bit, get them more closer to the bike. So I'm pretty happy with this mounting setup right here. I was able to articulate the bracket and the light and mount it inboard, so it's not sticking out too far like a turn signal or anything, so it won't catch on anything or possibly hit the ground if I lay the bike over. And I was able to turn them in a little bit, tuck them in kind of nice, and I think it's a neat looking finish, neat fit and finish on it. And then you can even bend these reflector brackets out a little bit, because these are rock crawling lights, so they're meant to light up the area around you. So my goal is to have it shining down around the front wheel, so I can see what's around me when I'm driving around at night. So kind of like a fog light on a car basically, but higher powered. So I like the way this is set up right now. It looks good. I don't know if it works good yet, but I can always readjust them, spin them, and do whatever I want. So we're going to do this on the other side, and then we're going to go ahead and hook them up to the power. Okay, so with the switch, the handlebar switch to turn the lights on and off, I found this on Amazon. I think I just searched handlebar 12-volt switch or something, and I'll put a link down in the description. where you can find it if you like this style, but it's pretty nice. It's an aluminum switch and basically on off. It clamps to the 7/8 handlebar, and it's got a decent amount of wire to connect to your accessories. So all looks good, and it's weatherproof. That was the other important part. So we're gonna get this on the bike and continue hooking up the lights. I'm taking the ground from one of the turn signal connectors. So this green wire is a ground. There's two of them to choose from. Doesn't matter which one you use. And this is the ignition switch plug. And this black and white wire here is always hot. So that means it's always got power. It's connected directly to the fuse box. So that's about as straight as we're going to get as far as getting power. So we'll tap into those two wires. We'll run the black and white wire up to our switch and then back down to the lights and the ground to the other side of the lights. And okay, so we got the 12 volt, the ground side hooked up here. We posit tapped it into the turn signal connector ground. So it doesn't really matter. There's two up here. There's a left and a right, but they're both running back to the same ground. So it doesn't matter, just choose one of those green wires, tap into that, or you can find the ground anywhere else if you want. The thing that kind of is unfortunate here is that the wires for the lights are not long enough to reach all the way inside of the headlight housing where I mounted them. So that's a pain because now we just basically had to make a short jumper for the ground, and then we had to split back the switch jacket so we can peel off enough of the other side of the switch on the hot circuit. So It'd be nice if these wires all came together inside the headlight housing and there was no connectors outside, but I have these weatherproof sheaths and connectors for the wires. So basically I just bundled the 2 grounds and the 2 positives together, and it came together pretty nice. I have the special crimping tool, which is handy. I'll put that in the description to where you can get that tool. That's going to be necessary to do these bullet connectors. Otherwise you're just gonna have a hard time getting the crimp on those perfect. So now we're going to connect it all up and hopefully make it as tidy as we can. I had to undo the horn here to get my wires to run behind it, or else it would have kind of gotten in the way. So we're at the final stages here, just getting everything buttoned up and connected. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my content. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you did, leave a comment down below and check out all my other videos too. I got a lot of cool stuff with the trail, the monkey, the Grom, Husqvarna EE5, kids stuff, family stuff, everything that I think that is enjoyable. So check it all out. I'll link to videos that might be relevant up here or over there. Depends on what side I'm on the camera. So hope you enjoy it.